Welcome, one and all, to another live stream. How you guys are doing? Exceptionally well on this Tuesday afternoon. We've got some Champions League football to talk about, people. We have got some Champions League football to talk about. We have got Inter taking on Barcelona. We've got PSG against Arsenal. It is, of course, the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals. This is it, people. This is do or die as far as what clubs' Champions League campaigns are for this season. You are one game away from making it to the final in Munich. I'm excited. I wish Liverpool were in this part of the competition. Obviously, that's not to be. But we still have two very exciting games for us. And if the games last week in the first leg were anything to go by, we are going to be in for a treat in the second leg. PSG take back to Paris with them a 1-goal lead. Arsenal looking to fight back a 1-goal deficit against the French champions. Will they be able to fight back, or will PSG make the final for the first time since the COVID season of 2020? And then on the other side of the draw, you have Inter against Barcelona. A mad game in the first leg. Absolute mad game in the first leg. A 6-goal thriller that Lamine Yamal stole the spotlight in what was a fantastic, incredible game at the Camp Nou there. It all hangs in the balance when the teams go to the San Siro for the second leg. And I, for one, am very much intrigued by who makes the final. So get involved in the comments section. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Get involved in the chat. Would love to know your takes on this week's Champions League or even Europa League as well. Would love to know what you guys are thinking and feeling about the Europa League as well. But mainly, we're going to be focusing on the Champions League for this particular live stream. We already have a certain Mr. Jordan Hyman in the chat. Hope you are well, my dude. He simply says, yo, and I say, yo, back to you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Guys, go and support Jordan. Go to his channel, find him, and enjoy some of the content he is producing right now. He's live streaming constantly. He's got things constantly on the go. So if you like your football, if you like your cricket, and if you like your wrestling as well, this guy is the man to go to. Absolutely brilliant stuff over there. Do go and check him out. Otherwise, stay here, enjoy, get involved. If anyone wants to come on the show, I'll be dropping the link soon. If you want to go, obviously, let me know if you want to do that and have your say on this season's Champions League semi-finals. Feel free to do so. I, for one, can't wait for it all to kick off tonight. The first game, obviously, is Inter Barcelona, but because a lot of you are obviously Premier League fans and probably follow the Premier League a lot more, we are going to be starting with the PSG versus Arsenal game. I'm excited for this one. It's do or die as far as what Arsenal are concerned, even more so than any other team in this competition. Arsenal go into this game a goal down. They go into this game after a dreadful performance at home against PSG. And they need to redeem themselves. And at the weekend, okay, it may not have been a team that was playing at full capacity given the context of how Wednesday night is panned out. But it was still a strong team that was put out there by Mikel Arteta at the beginning. I don't know why. I don't know exactly the reasoning. But what I do know is that this is going to be a massive uphill struggle for the Gunners in this one. PSG surprised me a little bit in that first leg with how they dealt with the occasion. Their game management was on point. They were absolutely perfect from start to finish. They schooled Mikel Arteta. They schooled Arsenal. Arsenal had a spell between the 25th and the 60th minute of the game to get back into it. They didn't. PSG managed the game beautifully. They silenced the crowd. They silenced the atmosphere. They took the sting out of the occasion with the early goal. They then kept the ball for 20 minutes. 20 minutes after the goal, they just kept the ball, finding the spare man constantly, making Arsenal run around like headless chickens. And then they gave the ball to Arsenal and said, go on then, we're going to take a breather. What have you got to try and break us down? And yes, Arsenal did create one or two opportunities during that time. A couple of them, I think, would have been offside had they found the back of the net. A couple of them, Donnarumma was absolutely fantastic in saving. But after that 60-minute mark hit, the tiredness of Arsenal shown. They were lethargic. They were just absolutely shattered. And PSG went on to see the game out. And they could have got more. The saving grace for Arsenal, of course, is that this is only 1-0. If Barcola's shooting was more on point, if Ramos hadn't have hit the crossbar and found the back of the net instead, we could be talking about Arsenal having to overturn an even bigger deficit than just the one goal, and pretty much saying that this tie is over because PSG absolutely wiped the floor with Arsenal. Now, it isn't out of the realms of possibility for Arsenal to go to Paris and to actually overturn that one goal deficit. Of course it isn't. However, it's still going to be a tough battle. It's still going to be a monumental battle to overturn that in front of the PSG Ultras, in front of a team that is so technically gifted and so good with the ball at their feet that if they get their passing rhythm going, and if Arsenal aren't on point in their press or in closing down the passing lanes or anything along those lines, they are going to struggle and they're going to tire themselves out again. That's going to be the worry for Arsenal Football Club in this game. PSG are going to be loud. They're going to be proud. They're going to be on it from the start. And although it is going to be interesting to see how Arsenal deal with the pressure here, it's going to be interesting to see how PSG deal with the pressure. This is uncharted territory for them. They've never won a semi-final across two legs. They won the first leg of the semi-final against Arsenal, of course. So for them to see the game out over the next 90 minutes, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. They've never done it across two legs in a semi-final. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about their business, PSG, and how Luis Enrique in particular handles this. He rested 10 players at the weekend. The only survivor from the Arsenal game in their league game was João Neves. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with this. It really, really is. And for me, I'd be surprised if they just didn't turn up like they did in the first leg. Again, try and kill the game off early. A goal early, a couple of goals early. Kill the game off as soon as they can. Don't even give Arsenal a sense that they can get back into this game, because 2 goals for PSG, I think, kills the game off completely. We saw, obviously, Liverpool go to Paris under the cosh for a large portion of the game. Managed to creep out with a 1-0 win. Granted, it was the first leg, but they still managed to get that done. As for Aston Villa, of course, was Aston Villa, the second leg was at Paris, wasn't it? I'm just double checking because I had it in my head that the first leg Was it? No, it was. Second leg was at at Villa Park. We saw in the PSG Villa game in the first leg, Aston Villa of course took the lead. They caught PSG cold on the counter attack. PSG had their quality shine through in the end. So there is enough there for Arsenal to have a little bit of hope on. There is a bit there. Jordan, I will be dropping the link soon. I'm just going to get this opening. I'm just going to get this stuff that I need to say out of me first and foremost, and then I'll drop the link afterwards, my bro. So there is enough there for Arsenal to be intrigued by, excited by, and to be motivated by, that they can get some joy out of this PSG side. It's not all going to be one-way traffic. It's not going to be all one-way conclusion. Arsenal will have their moments. It's just about whether they take them or not. Similarly to the first leg, Arsenal had their moments, but they just didn't take them. Arsenal, again, in this game, will have their moments. And it's about whether or not they can handle the pressure, and it's about whether or not they can handle the hostile atmosphere that the Parc des Princes will present to them on the night. For me, Thomas Partey is going to be a massive, massive return. Mikel Arteta needs to drop Martin Odegaard and put Nwaneri in, because otherwise you're playing with 10 players. Now that I've said that, he's probably going to go on and score a hat-trick or something. But yeah, in my opinion, Nwaneri needs to be playing instead of Odegaard, because if you play Odegaard, you're playing with 10 players. Ghost Odegaard is not the answer towards Arsenal's problems in this game. Saka will need to be on point. Martinelli will need to be on point. And you also need to remember that it is just one goal. The PSG don't need to attack as much, given the fact it's one goal. But if they feel like they want to kill this game off, attacking Arsenal might just play into Arsenal's hands, given how devastating they can be on the counter-attack. And again, the counter-attack was what led to Liverpool getting their goal in Paris, and what led to Aston Villa getting their goal in Paris as well. So Paris aren't exactly watertight defensively on the counter-attack, and Liverpool and Villa have proven that. They can be vulnerable to a very swift, very direct counter-attack that, if played correctly, if played in the best possible way, can hurt PSG. And we saw a couple of times in even the Arsenal game last week that they can be got at. In transition, if Arsenal win the ball high enough, if they're able to press and press well, this very technically gifted and best asset of PSG in their technically gifted midfield, then Arsenal can create problems. They really can. It's just about whether or not they're going to take those chances. Do I think they will? I think if you create enough, you're eventually going to take at least one or two. But I don't trust Martinelli. I don't trust Trossard. Bukayo Saka, since his return from injury, has been very good, but you can just tell there's something a little bit off with him. And it may just be because they rushed him back from injury a little too soon. It may be because of that. I'm just curious as to how both teams are going to approach this. I can't wait to see how both teams are going to approach this. And as far as a prediction goes, look, I said Arsenal were going to win and go through to the final. I said that the semi-final would be a first leg draw. A first leg win for Arsenal in 2-1. And then the second leg would be a draw Arsenal would stink the place out in Paris and get away with a draw that will see them go through to the final. I still have my doubts, of course. And of course, if this does go all the way through to penalties, which is a possibility, that is Donnarumma's bread and butter, it seems. So you would probably give PSG the edge if it goes all the way to penalties. But anything is possible, especially with a 1-0 deficit. Anything is possible. An early red card, an early controversial penalty, anything along those lines. It hangs not as much in the balance as the Inter Milan Barcelona game, but still hangs somewhat in the balance. And I guess I'd have to stick with my original prediction, but it's going to be a massive uphill battle for Arsenal to overturn this and get on the winning side. And of course, win it within 120 minutes at least. 90 minutes at least, 120 minutes at most. Because if it goes beyond 120 minutes into penalties, I'm not entirely confident that Arsenal will have the bottle to get past Donnarumma. The absolute brick wall that is Gianluigi Donnarumma in this particular tournament. I'm going with Arsenal. I'm sticking with it. Only just. Obviously, I hope I'm proven wrong. I don't really want Arsenal to go through. But I am going with Arsenal. On the other side of things, Inter Milan Barcelona, if their first leg was anything to go by, then the second leg is going to be glorious. Because that was honestly one of the most entertaining games of football that I've ever witnessed. 3-3. Inter Milan raced away into a 2-goal lead. Barcelona pegged them back. Pegged them back to 2-1. Lamine Yamal with a beautiful individual goal. It's hard to believe that kid is 17 years of age, man. He is absolutely ridiculous. Ferran Torres got the equaliser for Barcelona. Inter Milan got back into the lead in the second half through the second goal of the evening from Denzel Dumfries. And then 3-3, an own goal off of Jan Sommer. It's a shame from Rafinha's point of view because it was a fantastic shot that hit the crossbar, bounced off the goalkeeper and back into the back of the net. Unfortunate for Jan Sommer as well to be a part of that as well. Unfortunate for both sets of players. But it means that the tie hangs perfectly in the balance at 3-3. I can't wait for this one. I really, really cannot wait for this one. We saw that last week. Barcelona's attack and Inter's attack were deadly. And obviously, Inter Milan also had a goal ruled out for offside by a toenail from Enrique Mkhitaryan. We saw that both sides were capable of beating the other. Both attacks were very, very clinical, very, very deadly on the day. And the defenses were actually somewhat poor, shall we say, in certain aspects. But it made for a very entertaining game. We know that Barcelona play a high-risk, high-reward kind of way. We know that they play a very high line. We know that Inter, for the most part in this campaign, have been very strong defensively until Barcelona seemingly came to town. Well, I don't say came to town because they were at home first, but until Inter went to Barcelona's town. I don't know. I really don't know because in the first leg, before a ball was even kicked, I basically have been saying for a long time that Inter were my team to go on and win it. Inter were my favourites to go on and win this competition. And then when they were playing Barcelona, given the recent form of Inter, I basically said that I might have to rethink my original prediction because as much as I like Inter and as much as I think that they would be a good contender for this competition, I felt that Barcelona were catching them at the right time. I felt that Barcelona were at the right place, the right team at the right time to beat Inter Milan in the first leg and maybe go on and see out the second leg, even away from home at the San Siro in the best possible way, because then it would mean that if Barcelona were to win at home, Inter would have to come out in the second leg, leave some space in behind, and Barcelona's high risk, high reward system would probably see them finish the job in Italy, in Milan. Now the game's at 3-3. It's an interesting conundrum. I don't think either side are going to change their approach, which again could make for a very exciting game for the second leg. But you might give Inter Milan the edge in this one, simply for the reason that they are at home. You might give Barcelona the edge, simply for the reason that they probably have the better of the attacking side of things in this game. I don't know. This one hangs in the balance for me. This one really does, and I don't know which way this is going to go. I could make a case for both teams in the sense of Inter's defense, Inter's moment makers. Is Lautaro Martinez injured for this game? Was it I reckon he is, right? I'm not 100% sure on his injury that he picked up last week in the first leg. I'm assuming he's injured for this one. So that's going to be a bit of a blow for Inter, of course, their captain, if he is. I mean, they say he's still likely to play a part. They hope he will be fit. That's what people are saying. They're hoping Martinez will be fit for this game. So that will be a big boost to Inter if he is. Like I say, he may divide certain Inter Milan fans, Martinez, but there's no doubt that in this competition especially, he has been a bit of a moment maker for them. And you need that in the Champions League. They can often be the differences. Look at last week, for example. Dembele comes back in the team and scores the goal that is the difference maker on the night between PSG and Arsenal. You look at Inter last week with Thuram. Again, been missing in the past few games for Inter in the league. They've suffered. It only took him about 45 seconds, was it? Or something ridiculous like that to open the scoring in the Inter-Barca game. So, again, it's moment makers. It's moments like that. I will stick my original prediction of Barcelona, but I can't wait for this one. I really, really, really cannot wait for this one. This one is going to be exciting. This one is going to be interesting. Guys, I'm going to drop the link right now. If anybody wants to get involved, let me know their thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on the Champions League games that are going to be taking place tonight and tomorrow night. Link is in. Balam, my brother, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to have you with us. Do you see Calvin Ramsey playing next season? I don't know. I don't know. I really, really don't know. We need to find a right back, don't we? Because as good as what Conor Bradley is, he's not exactly the most reliable in injury prone. Yeah, man, I'm good. Hope you are too. Looking forward to the Champions League games over the next couple of nights. Inter have to progress, as you say, spot on. They are a good footballing team. Absolutely. I really rate Inter. Like I say, they were my favourites to go on and win this competition. I'd still back them in the final. I still would back them in the final against whether it is going to be PSG or Arsenal. for whatever reason, I'm not exactly backing them against Barcelona, which is weird, but I would back them against either Arsenal or PSG. More so Arsenal than PSG, in all honesty. I just think Inter's the way that Inter play is proper kryptonite to Arsenal, in my opinion. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Paris should progress. Inter versus Paris will be a good match on paper. Inter versus Paris, or even Inter versus Barcelona. And we shouldn't really rule out Arsenal. I think whichever combination that we find out in the final is going to be a very exciting finale to watch. Barca with Hansi Flick are winning matches. High risk, high reward, bro. I don't know how long it will stay like that for, but high risk, high reward is definitely the name of the game as far as what Barcelona are concerned. So very excited to see what's going to be happening here. And joining us right now, live and in living color, the one and only Jordan Hyman. How are you doing, bro? Nice to have you with us. You good, my dude?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good, man.
Man. What's your takes on the Champions League? We'll start off with
Yeah, man, I'm
Arsenal
good, man.
PSG. We'll start off with Arsenal PSG. How are you feeling going into that one? Of course, Arsenal having to overturn a 1-goal deficit. They're going away from home in front of those PSG ultras. What are your takes on Arsenal's chances of progressing to the final?
Man, after that first leg, after that noise that from I heard from the PSG fans, I think that the PSG fans will be keeping up that same noise, same way at home. So, indeed, Dembele, as I heard you said earlier before I come on, and the PSG, they always have the open space when they're on the field. Same against us, but this is them and Arsenal. But if Arsenal give them the open space, the game is done because the PSG fans will be getting louder and louder on Wednesday tomorrow. So if they get louder and louder tomorrow, I think so the game is done. And as I said about Donnarumma as well, he's a brick wall. Yes, indeed, shot stopper, making big saves. Who can he get the ball past him? I'm not sure, but we have to see come tomorrow. But yeah, but with PSG fans, they will be getting louder and louder come tomorrow at home.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hostile atmosphere for Arsenal tomorrow, indeed. It's about whether or not those Arsenal players can handle that pressure, whether they can handle the intensity that those PSG ultras voice onto the pitch, onto their players, whether the players can feed off of that energy. And like you say, they will create chances. It's just about whether or not they can beat Donnarumma, who seems very inspired, especially in this competition this season. He's having an unbelievable campaign. Do you think maybe the return of Thomas Partey is going to be massive for Arsenal in this game? You there?
Mm.
You think Thomas Partey is going to be a big welcome back for Arsenal in this one? Do you think that Arsenal missed him a lot last Tuesday?
Oh, man, look, Arsenal, man. Well, they need a strike up next month, but they're not gonna really have a chance of winning this game.
You don't
They're
see
not
them
gonna have
winning.
a chance. PSG is just too good to be beaten
Wow.
at home. Yeah, Arsenal will if they're gonna if in case they win, if they're gonna win it, if if there's gonna be any rotation for PSG, I think they have a chance probably in the goal, but Donnarumma, the Italian goalkeeper, man, he's just too good. So getting him beat a goalkeeper like that, how are you gonna beat him? Probably if you're gonna beat him, it's probably if you can depend upon one person from Arsenal to take free kicks. Declan Rice. If they get free kicks, I think he will put it like what he did against Courtois. I know this is a PSG like against Real Madrid, Arsenal. But look, man, it's gonna be hard to beat a goalkeeper like Donnarumma. He's too good.
It does appear that set pieces will be a massive factor for Arsenal. If they can get them right, especially, they'll stand a big chance of getting through. No doubt about it. They're going to need to rely on their set piece coach. Although, having said that, they don't really defend set pieces very well. There was a stat going around in the aftermath of the Bournemouth game that I think they concede from a lot of set pieces themselves. So maybe they need to actually work on defending them as well as attacking them, in all honesty. But so you don't see any chance of Arsenal going through then? You think it's just going to be solely PSG, their midfield's too good, their attack's too good, and especially with the way that Donnarumma's
I
inspired
think
this
it's gonna be yeah,
it's
it's
going to
gonna
be
be
PSG.
PSG. If yeah, PSG is gonna go through. Yeah, because PSG is too good. They're at home, so I think when they have Dembele up front, when they get the ball to him, I think he's gonna put it past David Raya. So he's gonna be interested indeed to stop a team like PSG. But we have to see what happens tomorrow. What will really accord if Arteta have any plans up his sleeves to return to him. But the only thing you have to pay attention is to try to beat Donnarumma. That's the only thing. Beat a goalkeeper if you want to make it to the finals. Get the ball past Donnarumma. But I'm not sure. It's Paris. I know France when they're at home, man. The team, the PSG come alive and them start to play and get the ball around. Even coverage still, yeah, he will make assist again. So for me, it's gonna be PSG, man.
Rate it. I mean, I hope you're right. I obviously don't want Arsenal to win anything this season. I really do hope you're right. I think there is a good opportunity for you to be right as well. I'm still backing my original prediction that Arsenal will somehow, some way, in 90 or 120 minutes, find a way maybe to overturn this. Not at the realm as a possibility, but it is obviously going to be a massive uphill battle for Arsenal to do that. Um, but if Arsenal don't, of course, what do you think may happen in the future of Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal fan base? It seems like it's more divided than ever as to whether or not you're Arteta in or Arteta out. There were a lot of Arsenal fans that were obviously very jubilant, and rightfully so, after the Real Madrid games. They won them. They beat the holders of this competition. They beat the most successful team in this competition. They've since gone on to face PSG. They lost the first leg. Some have still got hope that they can overturn this around. Some are seemingly suggesting that PSG will finish the job in the second leg. If what you're saying is true and PSG do go on and knock them out, what do you think will happen in the aftermath of all that, especially when it comes to Mikel Arteta? Do they keep him? Do they go one more season? Or do they get rid and look for someone who they perceive to be better?
Look, man, for me, man, it's gonna be a decision indeed. If he was really wants being the team to win the Champions League indeed, because I want to see if Arsenal can do it indeed. But beating PSG, Luis Enrique team, I don't even sure if they have a chance. The only way they cannot give them too much opportunity, the space. Because when they get it, if they are PSG get the space, they're gonna get the ball over to coverage Scalia, then go get it over to the right. So if they get it cross into the box, Dembele is there. So yeah, for Mikel Arteta, man, if he doesn't win this, Arsenal have to make a decision if they want him get him sacked. Because they want to win trophy. So if you not get the job done, then probably have to do that and also be a better manager. But yeah, you have to see, we want to see if he can help the Gunners cross the line in France tomorrow. So see what happens.
Absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to it. I can't wait. Like I say, PSG have got some unbelievable players. Donnarumma, like I say, has been inspired in this competition. They arguably have the two best fullbacks in the world right now on form in Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. Their midfield is just wonderful to watch when they work together. They're so technically gifted. Whether it be João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, or Vitinha, they're just absolutely outstanding to watch. They're probably PSG's best asset in a lot of ways. And then up front, the only selection headache that Luis Enrique really has is whether or not to play Bradley Barcola or Doué. Other than that, you can pretty much guarantee that Kvaratskhelia is going to start, as you mentioned. Dembele obviously has been phenomenal for PSG this season. He's really starting to show the kind of form that we were expecting of him when he was at Dortmund and Barcelona. Luis Enrique seems to have finally found a tune with him. And their attack is just ridiculous. The only thing I've always said about PSG not winning this competition is that I just don't think they have a clinical enough striker. That's the only real area that I'd say PSG could improve upon. I don't know where you've gone, bro, but I'll just say it anyway into the chat. Do you agree with maybe that at all? Do you agree that maybe PSG just lack a more clinical finisher? Because in the first leg, I really do feel like PSG could have killed this game off and done and dusted this leg if they'd have obviously taken their chances. I'm just wondering if you guys agree with that at all. Balam here says, which one did I get up to? Federico finally played last match. Yeah, he's finally up to 5 Premier League appearances. He will be picking up a Premier League winners medal at the end of the season. I'm glad it's not been a completely wasted season as far as what he is concerned. So I'm happy for him. Balam with a question for Jordan. We'll see if Jordan returns. I don't know where Jordan has gone. Paris won against 3 English teams so far in this. It's interesting how they've been doing this. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool in the round of 16, Aston Villa in the quarterfinals, and now potentially Arsenal in the semi-finals. It's been a very tough run-in for Luis Enrique's side, but we finally could be potentially seeing a massive, monumental triumph for PSG in this. Jordan is back, by the way, so we'll just add him back. Welcome back, my dude. Current final manager is Robin van Persie. Will he go as Arsenal manager? Yes or no? I would say yes, just for the banter side of it, but I highly doubt that they would bring him back. I was just saying there, Jordan, before you left. In my opinion, PSG lack a clinical goal scorer to win this competition. Do you agree with that, or do you think that they can win it without having that sort of natural striker?
I think with Dembele, I think that Dembele really want to face his former club. I know we still reach to that section as well, but if he does knock out the Gunners, I think he'll be probably face his former club. But I think, as I said, man, Dembele, PSG, I think they're fine. Dembele up front, as well Kvaratskhelia over there. I think PSG will be okay. The same, I think they already won a trophy. They're now looking at the trophy in front of them now, the Champions League in Munich. So PSG is good. Luis Enrique just have to just get the final job done against Mikel Arteta come tomorrow, and then we have the biggest finals. Indeed, so nothing else to do for Luis Enrique team. Everything is set for him. All he have to do is just knock up Arsenal if anything can happen in that game, because Arsenal fans are probably looking for penalty shootout. But as I said, man, and the first day, man, Donnarumma, man. this goalkeeper. Who's gonna beat him on penalties? This goalkeeper is just like a different level. You remember me of Navas back in the days when Navas making penalty savings. This is a new Navas, but no, he's not in Navas level. He's a Donnarumma. He's Donnarumma, but look, man, beating this team. And Enrique have to get the job done, but I think it's looking good. It's looking good. They're at home, and the fans are looking forward to it indeed. And also, I know the Arsenal fans they're looking forward to it as well. But that will be interesting indeed. I think they'll be fine. PSG with Dembele up top. So if anything, if he's out injured, probably goal. I can say probably Nyafu is probably what Barcola up top, or well, I don't have to call Cola Money because he's at Juventus, but he could probably use Barcola up top. He probably rotate with Kvaratskhelia. But with his top leading goal scorer up top, Dembele, I think PSG got discovered indeed. So they have to just make sure that Dembele will be fit for the game and ready for another goal banger at home. So yeah, I know they're up for it. I think we're gonna watch a great game come tomorrow against these two, the final leg of the Champions League. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be a very exciting game. Um, I'm going to say as well, if it does go to penalties, like you say, that's Donnarumma's bread and butter. So I think he will be fine, in all honesty. Ballum says, where are we up to with the chat? There we go. He says that Hakimi is in form for PSG. I completely agree. I think he's probably the best right back in the world right now. Paris definitely needed a second goal against Arsenal and only scored one. I mean, like I say, if Barcola's finishing was more on point, he probably should have made it two. Ramos also hit the post, so that could have been 2 or 3 as well. Yeah, it probably could and probably should have been more, in all honesty, but it is only 1-0. It's not at the realms of possibility for Arsenal to overturn it, but PSG, we know, are an extremely good side. And if Arsenal are chasing the game,
Yeah,
they really
but if they
could
want to
go
win,
on.
if they want to win this against PSG, they need to have Gabriel Magalhaes back. Because with him and Saliba at defense, I think they have a chance. But without him, do they
But
have a chance?
I don't think Kivior's done too bad deputising for
Yeah,
the injured Gabriel,
too bad.
but you definitely lose something with set pieces, especially from
Okay,
Gabriel, whether it's defending or attacking from them, in my personal
Eddie.
opinion. Paris FC, other team that went to the McDonald's League, and also Neves for Paris is one of the better players too. Young boy from Portugal. That guy's. I love João Neves. I love João Neves. Watching him develop this season has been magnificent to watch. Absolutely insane footballer. Absolutely insane, and one of the best young midfielders around right now, in my opinion. Ballum asked a question of you, though, Jordan, which brings us nicely on to the next game. He says, hello, Jordan. Will Inter against Barcelona go to penalties? It can, to be fair. What do you make of Inter versus Barcelona, especially with the game hanging in the balance?
Well, as I didn't see the first leg, but I have to watch the highlight for it on Wednesday. Gone and the way I see Lamine Yamal cooking the 17-year-old, this kid is just on a different level. He's the
I
next
remember,
Messi. He's the next
yeah,
Messi.
I remember
This guy, this
was it the last live stream that we did together? You were waxing lyrical so much about him, and yeah, your boy proved you right. I mean, he was absolutely unbelievable to step up as a 17-year-old in that environment. Just grab the game by the scruff of the neck was just insane. Like, do you think we're going to see another Lamine Yamal display like that again?
yeah, yes, absolutely. Later on today is the game. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do later on today because he with his dribbling, he's just amazing. And when he's and also getting it, oh my word, this kid is just and I think he prefer be at Barcelona. This this kid doesn't want to leave Barcelona. He's on a different level. This guy probably will be going all the way to the finals and win the Champions League. He's gonna win the Champions League. He beat Vinicius back every single year. He beat Vinicius, but now he's go. This kid is just amazing, man.
He
This
is
kid is
fun
just
to
amazing.
watch. He's
He
very
have the Euro. He have the Euros title. He have the El Clasico title. Next left for him to lift is the Champions League. This kid is just wow. He's a gem.
So, do you reckon Ballon d'Or contender then?
Yeah, man. Oh my god, this kid is just too good, man. This kid is just good. He's too good.
If
I really
Barcelona win
rate
the
him.
Champions League,
I want him I
if,
want
if
him at my club, but despite he wanted to stay at Barcelona, nothing wrong with him staying at his club, but he's just too good.
let's face it, Barcelona have already won the Copa del Rey. They're a good contender to win the Champions League. I think La Liga's pretty much tied up, right?
Yeah. So that
La
other trophy
Liga's
to his
pretty much tied
yes,
up. So
yeah.
I'm just double checking the standings right now as we speak, just having a look. Yeah, Barcelona are 4 points clear with 4 games to go. So assuming that obviously they hold their nerve, they go through with that, they complete the treble or the quadruple, whichever one they count for the Super Cup and all of that. That kid is definitely going to be a contender. Like him, I think his closest probably will be his teammate Rafinha, in all honesty. Just the way that FIFA obviously goes about it. Obviously, I still want to back Salah as much as possible. Still think Salah's had an unbelievable season, but when it comes to winning trophies, no one would have had a better year or two, and especially I say 2 because, as Ballon points out here, he also did win the European Championships back in 2024 as well, than Lamine Yamal. And at 17 years of age, he's already been there and done it pretty much all. With not just Barca, but with his country as well. The only thing left to really tick off is probably the World Cup, in all honesty. But Barca Inter, is it just going to be the Yamal factor? Do Inter have a chance of overthrowing Barcelona in this game and making it to the final, in your opinion?
For me, man, Hansi for it. Just oh my god, this manager just doesn't know when to stop winning. Keep on winning. And look, man, if Lamine gets the ball, if Barcelona passes it over to the right to him, I think with his speed and his quickness, if he reaching it, I probably going to cross it to Rafinha. And Rafinha already, he's going to probably put it into the back of the net. If he doesn't get it, Rafinha, Lewandowski. This kid, if he doesn't get it to none of them, he knows to
Is
find the back of the net as well himself. He will do it.
Lewandowski back for this game?
Score.
Is he back for this game?
So yeah, like at 3-3. I think this game will probably end at 5-3.
I think he's back for this game. I mean, it could be another. It could be another goals galore type of game, and I hope so. From a neutral point of view, I really hope so. I really do hope you're right. I don't know. I just don't think you can never rule out Inter. I think as good as what some of the individuals are of Barcelona, I just don't think you can rule out Inter and the moment makers that they have in this team. I don't know if you agree with that at all, or
Yeah, absolutely agreed, man. They have great quality players. Gavi, Pedri.
I love
They have
Pedri as
good
well.
youngsters, and then stepping up.
Pedri's good.
Oh my
Pedri
word! These guys are too good.
ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Ballon says, why did Hansi Flick fail in Germany then? Aging players and international management is different. Yeah, I've always said that international management and club management are 2 different things. And some are better at international management, some are better at club management. And, it's why certain managers succeed more internationally than they do at club level, because international management is pretty much a club, a cup situation. Any team can turn up in a knockout. That's why we've had so many weird kind of finals recently, like Portugal making it to the final in 2016, Greece winning the European Championships in 2004. It's just different. It's just very, very different. I'm just surprised that no one picked up Hansi Flick before, obviously, Barcelona did, in all honesty. Germany as German manager, I get what you mean, bro. Don't worry. Inter have Hakan and so on. I like I say, I really like Inter. I really, really do like them. I rate their manager. They were my pick to go on and win this competition, but I just think Barcelona are facing them at the right time, in my opinion. I just don't think they may have the squad depth, maybe, to combat fighting on different fronts. The Italian league, obviously getting knocked out by AC Milan in the Italian Cup, and then, of course, the Champions League as well. I think the intensity might just be a little too much for them to handle, in all honesty.
Yep, man. I'm gonna call this finals. I'm gonna call this finals down to the wire right now.
Rate it. So I guess you're going for a Barcelona versus PSG final then. There you go. There you go. See, that's what we're going for. That is what Jordan's prediction is, guys. Barcelona versus PSG final.
Look, man. I have to say, look, man. I have Arsenal friends. Me know you guys really want to go to the finals. Me know. Me see like you guys confident of winning the championship with Mikel Arteta, but the only way if you guys were really the only way if it could be Arsenal Barcelona finals, can Arsenal if Arsenal turns it around come tomorrow, I might change my mind to put it as Barcelona Arsenal finals. But I want to see come tomorrow. If Arsenal can be PSG, then I will change my mind.
Wow.
But for now, just for now, I'm going with PSG Barcelona final. But I want to see tomorrow what's going to happen. I'm just going to watch the game and just see what's happening. If Donnarumma get beaten twice, I'm going to call it Barcelona Arsenal finals. But I want to see it tomorrow. But now the main focus is on I want to see Inter get beat. That's my main focus for today.
Fair enough. There you go.
I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm waiting for tomorrow game.
Like I say, it's not at the moment's possibility. I know there are some Arsenal fans out there that seemingly think that this is done and dusted as far as what they're concerned. They're like, nah, they're out. It's not. We know how football works. We know that nothing can be ever taken for granted. There have been crazier nights and crazy things happen. I know it's going to be difficult. We're not under no illusion, no rival fan, no neutral fan, no fan of Arsenal's under the illusion that this is going to be an easy game. But at the same time,
the first leg was going on because in the match reaction that I heard from Josh, indeed for this game between PSG and Arsenal, another Arsenal fan that is Luke asking Josh that if the tie is finished, but Josh says that no, it's not finished. Donnarumma can get beat. We know it's not international football, but Donnarumma can get beat, and I absolutely agree with Josh. Donnarumma can get beat.
Absolutely,
he can get beat. He can.
I mean,
I agree with Josh because if he can get beat, if we know, I know Donnarumma can get beat.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's only one game of a two-legged tie, but as I mentioned earlier, there's enough for Arsenal to go on already this season that PSG have been vulnerable in. We beat them 1-0. Harvey Elliott. We were absolutely battered for about 80 of the 90 minutes, and we still managed to walk out of Paris with a 1-0 win to take back to Anfield with. Now, we did nothing in that Anfield game to actually hold on to that lead. But at the same time, that still could have been massive for us had things gone differently in that second leg. Aston Villa, I know that PSG thought the game was won at the time, but the Aston Villa went so close to coming back in that second leg. So they have shown that they can be vulnerable at times. This is not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. The remontada, as people like to say, and the buzzword of this competition, could very well be on this Wednesday when Arsenal go to Paris.
It's gonna be
I know
awesome.
you're not.
It's gonna be awesome, colleague. This is gonna be down to the wire because right now, at this rate, I see the rate that David Raya is goalkeeper for Arsenal, man. I don't know, man. I think he's not in Donnarumma shoes. Yes, yeah, okay, fair enough. I understand. But making saves, yes, but make saves again, PSV in penalty shootout. But you come up against a team that has the best shot stopper in the world, the Italian. Yes, it's different from Courtois for Real Madrid. But look, this is Donnarumma, man. David Raya. If that they go into penalty shootout, come tomorrow. Anywhere they put it, Donnarumma is gonna be there.
He has been exceptional in this tournament so far. There is no doubt about it. Donnarumma has been incredible.
He's a beast. No, he's a beast.
Yeah.
No, man, something wrong. No, sir. Hey.
He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely.
Champions League finals, then you have to make sure you probably win the game, right? Probably what? Score one goal at Paris come tomorrow at 1-1 and Angret. Score the second goal 2-1. But how we're gonna have a chance of beating Donnarumma? Where? Near post? Where?
I mean,
Donnarumma is gonna really keep it at 1-0. He's gonna keep it at 1-0. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna keep it at 1-0.
We shall see. Fallon says last time Inter won this tournament was with Jose. Yep, back in 2010, the infamous and phenomenal treble-winning season, of course. They were in the final not long ago too. Yes, it was 20. What year did City win it? Because City beat them in the final, wasn't it? 2022. I want to say 2022.
Man City. I think Man City beat them in 2022. You're right, for sure, because let me see. Oh yes, Rodrigo with a strike outside the box and he beat 2022. Yes, indeed. And I did the Champions League finals for that as well, and I got 1K views.
2020 was PSG Barcelona. PSG Bayern Munich, because Hansi Flick, I believe, was the manager of Bayern at the time. So it's incredible how time flies now that Hansi Flick could be in the final again, this time with Barcelona. So that was the COVID season where they obviously had to change the format a little bit to just one leg. That was PSG Bayern. 21 was Chelsea Man City. 22 was City Inter. 23 was Liverpool Real Madrid. Am I getting my years mixed up?
23.
It's all a blur. It's all a blur. And then obviously last year was Real Madrid Dortmund.
Until everything changes.
No, it was the other way around. It was 23 was City Inter, 22 was Liverpool Real Madrid. Right, got it. Yeah, because
you got that one. You got that one.
I couldn't believe I mixed them two up. Elizabeth, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Hope you are doing well. She says that Arsenal will get knocked out. Thank you for that comment. I think Jordan echoes your opinion and your prediction. To be honest with you,
Yes, indeed.
it's going to be an interesting one. I can't wait. And
Yeah, man.
so you're seemingly in agreement that it's going to be a PSG versus Barca final. I'm sticking with my original predictions. I'm going with Arsenal Barcelona. Just a quick word on the Europa League situation. Man United go into their game against Bilbao 3-0 up. That
But no,
seems to be
man.
done and dusted as far as what a lot of people are concerned.
They already booked the finals, and we're going to have all England finals. So that already secured and dusted. Ruben Amorim against Spuds, as they call them, Spursy. So yeah, we'll be having the Spursy against United. These are finals in the Europa League.
You don't think
So
Spurs are going to Spurs this up? You think
yeah,
they're going to?
Spurs United. It's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be an awesome game. It looks better. If Ruben Amorim never win a trophy if or either if Spurs ever win a trophy in the Europa League, you're not gonna even hear the end of the story yet. Or maybe from Ruben Amorim can go either way. But well, I'm not a United or a Spurs fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. But I think one of them will be probably it could go to London. It could go to Old Trafford. Well, we will see. Come when Thursday.
I
The
mean,
last leg of this.
anything with Tottenham in, I'm always skeptical. I'm always skeptical when it comes to Tottenham. So even though they are 3-1 ahead, they still have to go to Norway. And and as Ballon points out here, they've got no James Maddison for that visit to Norway. I think Spurs could be 5-0 up with only 5 minutes to go, and I'd still be skeptical that they would make it through, in all honesty. But if they do get to the final, look, obviously, if they are going to be going up against Man United, I'd hope Tottenham win. Wouldn't want Man United to win, but if I had to obviously go with my head rather than my heart, my head would be saying Man United, my heart would be saying Spurs. And if it is going to be Spurs, then Ange Postecoglou could be the coldest man in the room when, of course, he walks into that post-match press conference after the final. If he was to obviously go on and win it, which would be absolutely sensational for Tottenham and for Big Ange. If Tottenham ever win a trophy, their fans would be happy and a relief for them. Yeah, even with their season in the Premier League being so poor, yeah, a trophy probably would paper over some massive cracks. But we'll get onto that later if that is to actually go on and happen. Tottenham can mess it up away in Norway, low-key. Absolutely. Like I said, I wouldn't trust Spurs at all. I don't trust Spurs at all. I've given up betting on Spurs because they are just absolutely ridiculous to bet on. Even if, like I say, even if they were 5-0 up with 5 minutes to go, I still would not trust Spurs to hold on to that 5-goal lead. Do you both expect Ange to go, even if he wins a trophy? It's very similar to the Eric Ten Hag situation of last season. If you remember, Eric Ten Hag won the Premier League won the FA Cup with Manchester United. He won the Carabao Cup the year before. And of course, what happened is that they had this big dilemma of whether to keep him or whether to sack him. It's very similar in that situation where if Ange is to win the Europa League, they'll have that big decision to make. Their Premier League campaign has been abysmal. I don't necessarily see it improving, but at least he will have a trophy to show for this season. I reckon Spurs would keep him, but I don't necessarily think that would be the right move. I really, really don't. But I think if he was to win a trophy for them, they would keep him, in my opinion. But I don't, like I said, I don't think that's the right move to go down. Ange could win them a trophy, but leave, which is bizarre. Like I say, look at the Eric Ten Hag situation last season. Are you Tottenham manager for the final? They sacked Jose before a final. Hey, if Ryan Mason can do it, anybody can. Who next for Tottenham then, if he was to go? For me, I wouldn't like it to be Marco Silva or Andoni Iraola for them personally, not necessarily for Tottenham, because I think it would ruin them. But you know who I think would actually be a decent shout? Tottenham fans won't like this, but Brendan Rodgers. I think, would be a good shout for Tottenham going forward. I really do. Premier League experience, got experience with overachieving with both Swansea and I guess you could say a little bit at the time of Liverpool, a little bit in that season where Luis Suarez dragged him. But someone who can work within a budget that obviously Tottenham set, someone who plays a nice style of football that the fans can get behind. And the only problem is that his ego is a bit weird. But yeah, I know a lot of Tottenham fans probably won't like that name, but I genuinely think that given the kind of restrictions that your board set on your club, you've got to look at a manager that's going to be like that. For me, Ange is a manager that requires specific players to play a specific way in a specific system. I think the kind of players that you can attract with Brendan Rodgers are a bit more open, if you know what I mean. I feel like there's a few more variations to Brendan Rodgers' play. He's a little bit more adaptable, and therefore the players that you can attract are a little bit more widespread than what you'd be forcing some of those other players that would play a Postecoglou way of playing would play. There is the possibility that Pochettino could return. I have heard those rumours as well. Isn't out the realm as a possibility. Would obviously be a mad one. But for me, I always say don't go back. And I don't think it ever works out when you go back to something. I know Jose Mourinho, you could argue, somewhat worked because he went back to Chelsea and won them a league title again. But for the long-term future, it wouldn't work out. And I don't think it would work out with Pochettino either, in all honesty. So, yeah, I could see it happening both ways. But for me, Brendan Rodgers would be a name I would particularly explore. Interesting name, Brendan. Can they keep going for Celtic managers? Hey, if it works, bro. Let's face it, it worked for about 10 games with Postecoglou, so we shall see. Who will finish 17th? Tottenham, Old Trafford FC? Doesn't really matter, bro, does it? Doesn't really matter. Plus, both them teams are focused on Europa League anyway, so they're not going to bother one way or another. 17th place could be getting played in the Champions League next season. So it won't matter to either of them which one finishes in 17th if they, of course, win the Europa League. So bizarre, but that's just the way that obviously the rules have worked out. I feel Poch will stay for the World Cup in 2026 in USA. Afterwards, Tottenham is a possibility. There could also be a world in which maybe Pochettino decides to take on both jobs. It's not at the realms possibility for him to have two jobs. I think if Tottenham came calling, though, I think he'd go back. I think after the way that it ended at Chelsea, I think he is, I wouldn't say desperate, but I think he is looking for a way to somewhat redeem himself. I think he is definitely looking for a way to somewhat redeem himself at a club level. How long are we staying on for? I'm already going to wrap up very soon anyway. I just wanted to kind of finish on the Europa League kind of concept. So I'll probably be wrapping up very, very soon. Poch with Chelsea was okay. I agree. Poch with Chelsea was okay. I think a lot of Chelsea fans just didn't want him because of his association with Tottenham. And I think they carried that hatred onwards to this season, to that particular season. And I don't necessarily see it happening now, but if things were to continue to spiral out of control with Enzo Maresca, it is Maresca, isn't it? Enzo Maresca. It would be interesting to see if those Chelsea fans would have actually been consistent with their criticism of Pochettino last season. Marco, welcome along, bro. Hope you are well. Trent doesn't strike me as a Real Madrid player. I think he'll be fine at Real Madrid. Attacking-wise, at least. I think when he starts making mistakes defensively, which we all know he can, and he probably will, he'll have nowhere to hide. At Liverpool, he would always have Liverpool fans that would defend him no matter what. Sometimes myself in that scenario. But at Real Madrid, he's got nowhere to hide. He can't even hide behind Jude Bellingham. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And Chelsea to win the Conference League in the final against Fiorentina. Take care. Yeah, take care of yourself, bro. Thank you for joining us. Always lovely to talk to you, my dude. And yes, I agree. Chelsea were my pick to win this Conference League. I don't think it will come as any surprise to anybody that they will probably go on and win this competition. Fiorentina will probably be tough in the final if that is to play out. I've not even paid attention to the Conference League, in all honesty, because let's face it, Chelsea, with the amount of money they pumped into their squad, should be winning that competition regardless of who they will be facing. So, it is what it is. Real Madrid still interested in Saliba after his poor season against them, even though Arsenal won. He's not had the best of seasons, Saliba, but at the same time, there is still a lot of potential there, and it doesn't undo how well he's progressed these past few years. So, yeah, and you would probably say that Real Madrid, if they were to sign him, that's that position locked down for the next 10 years. So, yeah, it's understandable as to why Saliba would be chosen for Real Madrid, but whether or not they can prize him out of Arsenal's hands or not remains to be seen. Tonight is make or break for Barca. Stakes have never been higher in a very long time. It's going to be interesting, bro. I'm still backing your team to win. I'm still backing Barca to go on and win the game, but I'm very much looking forward to it, and I can't wait for this one. Chelsea first trophy with a new owner, absolutely, and it would be history as well, because they would have been the first team to ever win all three tiers of European football. So yeah, massive history on the horizon for Chelsea, even if we do not care about the competition that they are in, with all due respect, because Chelsea should be winning it. It's not like it was when West Ham won it a couple of years ago. If West Ham were to go on and win it a few years ago, which they did, and obviously that was a great moment for West Ham, an absolutely fantastic moment for West Ham. It's not going to have the same feeling this time around, because Chelsea were expected to win. Chelsea were expected to go on and wrap up this competition straight away. It is what it is. It is what it is. as far as what I'm concerned with Chelsea. And if they win it, fair play. You can only beat what's in front of you. And of course, they got themselves into that mess. But at least they came out of it with flying colours. It's so obvious that the Prem is the strongest league in the world. Man United and Tottenham just avoiding relegation and easily getting to the Europa League final. This is what I'm saying with like the Europa League. Like either the Europa League has to be as poor as the Premier League, because everyone's saying it's been a poor Premier League season. Either the Europa League is the same level as the Premier League or worse, or the Premier League is not as bad as what people are making it out to be. It can't be one or the other, because Man United and Tottenham have both made it to a Europa League final. You can somewhat argue maybe that Champions League teams not dropping into that competition this year have somewhat benefited the Europa League. Maybe it's taken away from the Europa League. I don't know. I don't know, but I've always found it weird that if you're in the Champions League, you have a safety net of potentially going into the Europa League. I never quite like that, in all honesty. Gerard Martin is a liability. He might start tonight. I think it'll be fine, bro. I just think your attack might have just too much for Inter to handle, even though Inter can be very good defensively on their day, especially with them being at home. But I think your attack has just got something of a bit of... You might not like me saying it, but that sort of individual brilliance that sort of saw Real Madrid win so many Champions Leagues these past several years. I feel like you have a bit of individual brilliance and a bit of just freestyle to your attack, especially Lamine Yamal in particular. PSG truly have conquered England if they beat Arsenal this Champions League season. They also beat Liverpool, Man City, and Aston Villa already. Absolutely agree with that. Yes, the Premier League is the best league. However, teams like Bayern, Inter, Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, and so on could still beat the top of the Premier League any day. Prem has the best league, not necessarily the best teams. I agree with that. I think the overall outfit of the Premier League may be stronger. Doesn't necessarily mean quality-wise it's the most entertaining. And it hasn't been the most entertaining league this season. I will agree with you on that. But yeah, I think maybe the overall outfit of the teams, I think I do get your point there. Flick wants to start with Torres. Lewandowski has told Flick he wants to start, reports say. Depending on how serious the injury with Lewandowski is, you don't maybe want to risk just in case you do get to a final, because you'd probably rather have Lewandowski in a final than Torres. So I would probably argue not to start Lewandowski, build his fitness up over the next 5 or 6 games, however many you've got until the final, and then probably go with Lewandowski in the final. Don't do what Tottenham did in 2019 and basically just put an unfit striker in the mix, because if they'd have gone with Lucas Moura over Harry Kane, I think Liverpool would have been a bit more scared in that final. But he went with Harry Kane, an unfit Harry Kane at the time. And the rest is history, as they say. Trust me, I watch La Liga every week. La Liga refs are way worse than Premier League. I mean, there are some strange ones. I don't watch La Liga religiously, I will admit. But every now and again, there will be something that crops up on social media, on a timeline somewhere. And it will be a very controversial, debatable decision. What was the one last season with Real Madrid? Didn't like Bellingham score at like the last minute of the game? Was it? It might have been someone against Real Madrid. It was either Real Madrid scored or someone scored against Real Madrid. And the ref blew the whistle as the ball got crossed into the box. And it's like, that's never been done before and never been seen since. But the referee did that. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Are Liverpool in for Gyökeres or Saka at all? Who will be leading the line next season? Surely not Darwin. No, I think Darwin will be off to Saudi. I don't think we'll be getting Gyökeres, even though I would love Gyökeres at Liverpool. Saka is unobtainable, in my opinion. I want it to be Alexander Isak. I want it to be Alexander Isak leading the line. I think it will be Ekitike. My dream is Isak, but the realistic side of me thinks it's going to be Ekitike. And I think that even though we should probably get rid of Diogo Jota as well, I think Jota's going to be his backup or maybe his starting striker with Ekitike behind him to bleed him into the side slowly. Is what it is. I think Marciniak is the best ref in the world. Small blip in his career in the last minute Real versus Bayern, with which the linesman messed him up, but apparently it was offside indeed, so he remains the best. Can't really say that I know who you're on about. Maybe I know him by face rather than name, but that's how referees should be. Referees should be people that I don't really know the name of, but I know their reputation, in my personal opinion. Saka, but you'll need a striker, not a winger, right? I think Saka is overrated. You said Saka, bro. Or Liverpool in for Gyökeres or Saka. I agree with you. Like Saka's unobtainable anyway. Saka's completely unrealistic. I really don't think, and maybe I still think we need a winger, but we need a left winger, and Saka's not predominantly a left winger, so he's still very good. Saka. I wouldn't agree with you there that you say he's overrated. I don't really agree with that. I think he's a quality player. Marciniak, the bold ref who ref the World Cup final too. I think so. I think I know what you mean. Either way. He could probably, our English refs should take a leaf out of their book. Oh, you meant Isaac. Okay, no problem, dude. No problem. I mean, the reports are seemingly suggesting we have been in for him before, but it's kind of cooled off a little bit. I think because Newcastle are pretty much there now with Champions League and getting that for next season. I think interest is somewhat cooled because I think we're probably now going, you know what? We don't really want to spend as much as what Newcastle will want to sell him for because they've obviously now got Champions League football. So I want it to be Isak. I would love it to be Isak. That would be my dream to be Isak. But I don't think it's realistic. And I've held that I've held that opinion since those Isak reports came out initially. I still give Arsenal at least 30% chance to qualify. 1-0 is nothing. I agree. I think I might give them a slightly higher percentage than 30. Maybe like 40, 45 maybe. But I agree. 1-0 is a fortuitous result given the chances that PSG missed in the first leg. Not out of the realms of possibility for them to overturn it. But at the same time, it's going to still be a tough battle for those Gunner players and for Mikel Arteta's side. And I think there are going to be some big questions to be asked of PSG if they were to lose this. I feel like there are going to be big questions to be asked of Arsenal if they were to not get through to the final in this situation. The aftermath is going to be incredible to watch unfold. I agree. So there you have it. In my opinion, it is going to be a very interesting couple of days ahead. Champions League wise, PSG versus Arsenal tomorrow night. And then, of course, tonight, Inter versus Barcelona. I cannot wait for these two games to play out before our very eyes. We're going to leave it there, guys. We're going to leave it there. This has been a very fun, just under hour and a half chat and debate and discussion on the Champions League semi-final second leg. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. Thank you to Marco. Thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Ballum. Thank you to Elizabeth and everybody else that got involved. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Both of us will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Thank you to Jordan for obviously joining us earlier on in the stream, giving his thoughts, comments, and opinions, predictions, and everything else on the week ahead. A massive week for Arsenal. Marco there cheering on his beloved Barcelona. Good luck, man. Good luck. It's going to be one hell of a battle tonight. I don't want to butcher your name, dude. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to say it's Mehdi. I am so sorry, dude, if I butchered your name. I do apologize. I'm so terrible with names, but welcome along, my friend. Hope you are well. Appreciate you being here. And yes, fair play to Barca. Like I say, Lamine Yamal watch along. It's going to be a Lamine Yamal watch along tonight because that kid is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, I can't do a watch along tonight, which is a bit annoying. I would love to have done, but I'm working. So that's frustrating, but we shall. It won't be too long, I'm sure, before the next one. Yes, there you have it. Thank you to everybody that joined us. Thank you to everybody that came along. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and probably greatly appreciated from you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you to everybody who got involved in the chat today. Love talking to you guys as always. Hit the comments section if you're obviously watching this back on replay. Or obviously if you have any other thoughts and comments and opinions and predictions and feelings, or even just some thoughts for future videos and live streams that you want to talk about, things of that nature, just get involved in the comments, guys. We'd love to hear what you have to say on anything and everything to do with football. As always, thank you all for your support. Very much means the world to me. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks live stream, and I will soon speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.